So, the first Descendant still sucks, even after this update.
I'm about to make a name for myself, yeah.
In fact, it's probably pushed me away even more. So, 20 plus days ago, I made my final first Descendant video, talking about how the gameplay loop is boring, how the game in itself was just standing in a cave, jumping up and down to get XP, and having to like use your catalyst and get back to level 1 and go back up to level 40 and so on and so forth. While is okay at first, after a period of time that becomes boring and the quests and everything within the game in terms of content is just pointless and useless. I decided to walk away, but I already said in my videos prior to my last video and my last video that I would always try out the game when something new comes to see if there are any significant changes to the game that make it interesting and fun to play. Now, this update pushed me away within 2 hours because nothing has changed. It's the same old crap with a new coat of paint on top of it. First and foremost, the update isn't all here. It's going to be spread over numerous releases. Bad choice in my opinion, but they're going to do what they're going to do. It's whatever. In this update, we get new story, new quests, new villains, kind of new areas, I guess. And on top of that as well, you get new Descendant Haley, which I haven't tried yet, which I am interested in trying, but if I'm going to try her, I'm going to buy her because I am not unlocking her. And I think the most important thing is the new kind of gameplay loop in terms of invasions and having to kill Vulgus in specific missions and the new mechanics in those missions. And it's the new mechanics that pushed me away from the game because the mechanics are overly complex and also are boring and forces you to play really slowly until obviously you get used to it and you know what you're looking for. But when you first play it, it's boring and crap, and half the time it doesn't even work in the way that it's supposed to work. So one of the new mechanics is basically you go up into a pad in the sky and you stand on it, and all the little pads on the floor will light up with different colors and different symbols, etc. There'll be a door that's locked at some point with numerous amounts of symbols. You have to stand on the pads that are in the order of the unlock. So let's just say, for instance, you get a red, a blue, and a yellow. You have to find the red pad, stand on it until it completes, then the blue pad, then the yellow pad. However, once you jump off that pad at the top, everything goes black again. So you have to remember where those pads were, which is fine. It's not that difficult. However, I have found that if I do it in the order that it tells me to do it, one of them will just not work anymore, and I have to go back and find the original one that I stepped on. It feels so just clanky and weird, and it just does not feel good. You will have to do this probably multiple times to get the pads to actually work, and then on top of that you have to stand still on that pad while enemies are just shooting you. So for me as a Valby, I can't use my cleanup. I can't use the abilities that I need to use to spread and kill and do AoE damage. I just have to stand on a pad and fire my Thunder Cage. And while I love my Thunder Cage, it's a boring mechanic. It really is. It's not the worst, and I'm glad that there is new things in the game, but it's just not good enough. It's just the same old crap that limits you in what you can do just to extend or pseudo extend and make it seem more difficult than it is. It's just a bad mechanic. The only kind of decent mechanic that I enjoy from the new mechanics is when you fight like a big boss. The boss has a colored shield. It could be purple, yellow, white, etc, etc. You just have to stand on the pad that represents the shield and shoot the shield off. After a certain period of time, if you don't kill the boss, he'll create a new shield and you have to go find that color pad. This seems too easy. It's on the complete opposite side of everything else because the pads are all visible. So you just got to find a pad, stand on it and shoot. It's brainless. So I feel like there should be some kind of mix of both of them. So you got all the pads on the floor when you're fighting a boss. He's got a certain colored shield. All the pads are blacked out. You go up, you look for the one you want by highlighting them by standing on the pad in the sky. So say the boss has a blue shield, you jump down, you should have to stand on that blue one, remember where it is, shoot the boss. Then when he gets his shield back, all those pads change. So you have to go up again and look down and see where the pads have moved to. If he's now got a yellow shield, you should be able to just find the yellow one and shoot him. So it's kind of like the mechanic for the main easy parts of the quest is more complex and convoluted than it should be, and the mechanics for the boss are too easy and brain dead. It just doesn't make sense to me. Then the other mechanic, and you're going to see in this footage where I just give up and I'm like, I am not doing this, is I don't even fully understand it because I just didn't give it enough time. But while I was in there doing it, I was like, this is so boring and frustrating and I just don't care. So I decided to just stop playing the game. These pillars that pop up, you have little growths on them. You have to shoot them and find a symbol. There's one symbol on a pillar. Now, a drone that's flying around, there's multiple drones, has multiple symbols. So essentially, the way I understand it is you go and shoot all the growths off all the pillars. You remember what the symbol was. If there's 4 symbols, you find 4 pillars, you find 4 symbols. Once you've got those symbols equated, you look at all the different drones, and whichever drone has those 4 symbols, you blow it up and you continue the game. However, the actual pillar thing that you shoot all the crap off it, you do 1 damage per hit per bullet. You have to wipe off all 4 panels. So if like you start at the bottom and your symbol's at the top, you're just standing there shooting at something for no reason while all the enemies are killing you. Then if for some reason, you know, you take a lot of damage and you don't see what the symbol is, the growths regrow and hide the symbol. It's the most convoluted and complex seeming thing for something that just, it's so frustrating. It's so crap. These developers for this game, I just don't understand what they're doing. I don't get it. And that for me was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this game. The only thing that I might do is play Haley, like I said. I might even make a video on Haley. But I am done with this game. I know they got a big thing coming in December, apparently. I might check that out, but I am so done with this game. And it's got nothing to do with burnout because I haven't played the game for 23 days. It's got nothing to do with anything other than logic over these bad mechanics. And then on top of that, we have inversion reinforcement, which I made a video about earlier, which is the most pointless buff system ever because the nerfs outweigh the buffs, and overall just seems like a horrible mechanic. I'm sure there'll be some ways you can tweak it and use it for very specific builds on very specific characters. But for something that was hyped up so much, it's disappointing. This game is constantly disappointing. And I'm sorry if you love this game and you hate me for talking about it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to just be like, this is what's happening. This is the factual things that are happening in the game. Yes, there are my opinion on them, but there are actual things in the game that you do as well. And honestly, I can't talk about it anymore. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find something in the game that you like. But oh my god, this game is terrible. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.